Ready to go.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're working on this little Southland Edger. The gentleman got rid of it because he says that every spring for the last 2 years he's had to send it in and have it serviced because it won't start. Now, of course, we all know that's probably bad gas and more than likely a clogged carburetor. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to drain the fuel out and rebuild the carb and see if we can't get this thing running. So all you new people out there, go ahead and subscribe. It's free and it's what we work for. So let's get started. Okay, job one's going to be to get the carburetor loose, and then we'll drain the fuel line once we can get to that more easily. And this should only take a minute or two, even in real time with no editing. Okay, filter doesn't look bad. We could reuse that. So what do we got? I'm absolutely sure that this is a 10 millimeter. Okay, I've got my handy 10 millimeter. Let's get that out of the way. Modern engines, if you lose your 10 millimeter socket, you might as well quit. Okay, it looks like that might be it. Oh, we've got one more 10 millimeter hiding underneath here. Okay, let's see what we got underneath. She doesn't have much fuel in her at all, so this will only take a minute. Loosen the gas cap, put that where we can get to it. And that gas is very, very yellow, so I'm not surprised it won't start. It's entirely possible this is the entire problem. But since we've gotten this far, we're going to go ahead and clean the jets and make sure she starts life out nice. Interesting little piece of carburetor trivia is this little bolt on the bottom of the carburetor bowl. If it's silver, the jet is inside the carburetor where you'd use a flathead to get to it 99% of the time. If it's brass or any yellow type of metal, then it's almost always this is the jet. And when you take it off, you'll see the little holes in the side of it. Okay, let's put this up here for a moment and find something that can hold that so we can keep working. And there you have it. We have a carburetor. So let's carry it over to the bench and get it apart and see what we've got. Okay, let's loosen her up real quick. Wouldn't use that to put it back on. I would definitely use it to take it off. And yeah, this is definitely a victim of bad fuel. This is a victim of terrible fuel. If you don't empty your tank out before you put it away for the winter, that's what it's going to look like every time. And this is the emulsion tube, and this is the jet, which comes right out of here. And they always go in like this. These bottom holes in the emulsion tube sit under the fuel. You can just sort of see the fuel line right there where it sits. And these add air as it pulls fuel into the carburetor. So let's give these a good cleaning, and we'll run the whole thing through the ultrasonic, and we'll see you shortly. Okay, they've all had a ride through the ultrasonic and they're ready to go. This is the emulsifier tube. So you have to make sure it's clear. And we're going to do that by running a wire up the center. We usually spin it on the wire, and that'll do it. You've got these little holes in the side, and the wire won't fit in these little holes. But in looking at it, I can visually see light coming through the little holes because there's a matching hole on the other side. So we know this is good to go. And here's the part that gets clogged up the most, the jet, because this lives its life underneath the fuel. So we're going to run down the center of it. I'm doing the same thing. I'm spinning it back and forth. Now we'll visually check it, blow through it, and it all looks good. So let's get it all back together. The first thing we'll do is put the jet in. Again, before we put it in, this is the bottom, this is the top, and it sits like this. So it goes like so. Put the jet in on top of it, and be super gentle so you don't cross thread it accidentally. But they usually go straight in. Snug it, but don't go crazy tight. Oh, let's get the carburetor back together. Put the needle and float back on. Now this doesn't apply for just this particular engine. This is every engine in the world. If you watch this and you think, you know, I want to fix my lawnmower, it'll be the same thing. If you watch this and you think, you know, I want to fix my whatever, anything that has a bowl type carburetor, either this is the jet or the little piece inside is the jet. Let's tighten her back on. Okay, that should do it. So let's go bolt her back to the engine and see what we've got. Okay, to get the linkage back in place, now what we're going to do is put that right there. Now we put a little bit of bow in the bar. Now we'll straighten it back out. Go ahead and hook the spring back on, and we're done. And there you have it. We'll slide her back in. We'll slip our fuel line back on. It looks like somebody put a new fuel line on this one not that long ago. But the whole machine looks almost perfect. So next up is our second gasket. And our airbox. Okay, now I'm betting this big boy's biggest problem was really, really bad gas. So we're going to go ahead and fill her up with really, really good gas. That should do it. And since we've cleaned the carburetor out head to toe, we know there's no bad gas in the system. We'll put her in the start position, pull the safety, and see what we got. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to run her around the yard and edge some. That came out pretty nice. She had a little bit of a harmonic when we first started it, but after she ran for a minute and warmed up, that harmonic smoothed out completely and it sounded really good. So if yours sits all winter and you can't get it started, drain all the gas, drain every drop of gas you can get out of it, and then put fresh gas in. And 90% of the time that'll fix it. Now you might have to pull it a few times to get the gas out of the carburetor, but keep pulling and keep trying. You might pull it 25 times, but when it starts, then it'll be nice and smooth. If that doesn't work, then go ahead and pull the jets out, clean the jets. It's pretty much the same on every carburetor that has a little bowl on the bottom. So thank you for watching. And all you new people out there, if you made it this far, you might as well subscribe. It's free and we do appreciate it. So thanks. We'll see you next time.